kind of felt like the series was over. Dallas and Utah, in a weird way, are both seeking the same thing, but they have two different challenges. So Dallas, due to Luka, has really no ceiling. If they get him the right components, they won 2 games in the series without Luka, so their ceiling is through the roof. Utah has kind of met their ceiling, where their number one, Donovan Mitchell, many believe is a 2. Rudy Gobert doesn't offer anything on the offensive end. And like the NFL becoming a passing league, the NBA is now a shooters league and an offensive league, and there's only so much defenses can do. And they're too good for a lottery pick, but not good enough for a long playoff run. What Utah has going for them, and this is a big thing in life, is self-awareness. They know that. That's why they brought in D. Wade, to change the outside perception. They know. They made the playoffs 6 straight years. They're well run. In the building, they do a lot right. I've been to their facility more than once. They're well run, smartly built, great coach, good kids. They do a lot right. They're trying to change the perception. They're not a great free agent market, and that's why you bring D. Wade in. So they have the self-awareness to know we got a little bit of a ceiling here. What they need is to hit a home run in the draft in the next couple of years in Donovan Mitchell's prime. They have to go hit a home run. Good luck. Dallas has to hit a home run, too, as a number 2 player with Luka. So Luka's the one and will be for the next 10 years in Dallas. Can they find a 2? They've already whiffed once on Porzingis. Spencer Dinwiddie's a 3. Some would say a 4. We'll give him a 3. So they already whiffed on Porzingis. They never did get Dirk Nowitzki a 2. And they tried. It's an attractive market, I think. They tried. They got really good players past their prime that kind of faked it out and won a title. But in 21 years, they only got to the conference finals 3 times. They could never be consistent in the postseason because it was too Dirk dominated. And whereas your Spurs and your other teams could find a 2 and a 3. So they have totally different challenges. One with no ceiling, that's Dallas with Luka. And you could see it last night, very early in the second quarter. You're like, all right, they've pulled away. You know, they've everything has to go right for Utah to get to a finals. With Luka, you can make some mistakes. You can whiff on some draft picks. The Dallas will get a free agent. You can whiff on Porzingis. Yeah, you still win playoff series. That's not where Utah's at. But I will say this for the Jazz. They know what they are, and they know what they're not. A lot of people and a lot of companies and a lot of organizations don't. That's why they smartly brought D. Wade in. Can he solve it? Well, just because you know you have an issue doesn't mean you can solve the issue, but that's the first part of solving it, acknowledging you got a problem. But Dallas, a fun team. They're a really interesting team, and when you got somebody as good as Luka, who there's an argument to be made, best young player in the league, a future really bright for Mark Cuban. They've just got to do what they couldn't do with Dirk. Find a Robin. Find a Hall of Fame level number 2. Joy with the news.
No.
The second game. You have a very young coach with not a lot of coaching experience, Steve Nash, who knows his future, trying to outduel a more experienced guy in the trenches who had been in the NBA on a bench for a long time, and a deeper team, a better team, the Boston Celtics. So remember, though, a couple years ago, Kyrie Irving informed us that they would not need a coach, really. It'd be by committee if Kyrie wanted to coach, if KD wanted to coach. This was really what Kyrie believes. He probably still believes it. Now, after last night's loss, he also believes he could be not only co-coach, but co-general manager. Here's what he had to say.
I don't really plan on going anywhere, so this is, like I said, this is added motivation for our franchise to be at the top of the league for the next few years. And, I'm just looking forward to the summer and just building with our guys here. When I say I'm here with Kev, I think that it really entails us, managing this franchise together alongside Joe and Sean and just our group of family members that we have in our locker room, in our organization.
Oh, boy. Us, we. No. Kyrie's that person that loves to tell you he has all the answers. Remember, he said the world's flat. Magellan actually proved it wasn't, but if you want to sail around the world to disprove Magellan, go for it. You'll have plenty of time now. You're out in the first round. He also told us the vaccination, how it affects all of us. I tend to lean on Ivy League and Stanford epidemiologists, but what do I know? He can coach, and now he can general manager. Yeah, okay, yeah. There's types. This type of guy is all over the internet. He's almost always anonymous, and he's always a loser. Tells you how much he knows about the world. Way out of his territory, his confines. Again, I'm not a shut up and dribble guy. I am a be great at what you're great at. That's awesome. Bill Belichick, stop drafting. Let the scouts do it. I'll say what I said yesterday. KD has to go to the owner and the front office and say, get Kyrie out of here. Get him out of here. Now there's another story that the Ben Simmons saga, now it's back to being a mental health saga. Okay. First it was injuries and mental health. Now it's back to injuries and back soreness. Now it's mental health. The agent and the player, wherever the wind blows. Kevin Durant, listen, Steph, Clay, and Draymond and Steve Kerr are laughing their butts off. They're saying, we told you not to leave. We told you it was a good thing here. And Kevin Durant struggled with that. Draymond confronted him. You remember the video. Hey, we won before you were here. Okay, we'll win when you're gone. Yeah, they're right, and KD's wrong. Now, careers in the NBA often end sadly. Michael Jordan at the end with the Wizards was ugly. Shaq fell apart physically. Even LeBron now. It's kind of a mess. But Kevin Durant still averages 30 a game and shoots over 50%. It doesn't need to end this way. But he wanted to leave the Warriors because he wanted to prove I can do it my way. And instead, he's proven the opposite. That he does because of his personality. He needs structure. He needs a coach. He needs a reliable teammate. He wanted to show Golden State, I'm going to do my own thing. We've seen it. It doesn't work. And that's okay. A lot of people leave corporations. They're going to start their own business. Many succeed. They become an Elon Musk, a Mark Cuban, and then many don't. And then they come back to the corporation and make a great living and are great employees, but they're not really basically do it on your own mavericks. It's not their personality. KD needs structure. He's a wanderer. Emotionally, he's kind of a wanderer. He needs somebody to rein him in, give him structure, hard coach him. He needs teammates that are reliable. Because deep down, Kevin Durant's very reliable. He loves basketball and likes to wander, but he likes to win. He plays real defense. He's accountable, and he's committed. And right now, you got two guys in Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving that just aren't. And his career is ending sadly, but unlike MJ, he's not washed. Unlike Shaq, he's not fallen apart. Even LeBron now missing a lot of games. Kevin's a 30-point-per-game player in this league. He is still absolutely as good as anybody on the planet getting a bucket. And he is trapped. And what is the one thing he wouldn't do in San Francisco with the Warriors? And it's not his personality. He would not confront Draymond Green. And it blew up his career. He's not going to confront Kyrie. It's not who he is. Got to go upstairs. You got to ask the owner. You got to ask the boss. Get him out of here. Because otherwise, they're already laughing at you at Golden State. Everybody else is going to be too. The only way to turn this thing around is do what you're uncomfortable doing. Confrontation. Otherwise, it is a sad, sad ending for a remarkably committed basketball icon. All right, so we're getting real close to the draft. And it has been a really interesting last 3 or 4 months in the NFL. For years and years and years, there are certain positions you pay and certain positions you don't. And you don't want to overpay for any position. But suddenly in the last couple of months, wide receivers have just started making quarterback money. You know, it's like almost, you've heard of a housing bubble. It's like a wide receiver bubble. Like, we know they're valuable, but I mean, good God, the 19, 20, 30 million a year. It's like, whoa. We have housing bubbles. We have market bubbles. I do think we have a little bit of a wide receiver bubble. So the Niners have Deebo Samuel, and they're in a tough spot. George Kittle is great, but he gets banged up. Brendan Ayuk has been really inconsistent, so he's probably always going to be a 2. and they don't really have a 3. Now, they do run the football better than almost anybody. Their coach is really smart. He elevates everybody. And the Deebo Samuel situation was kind of tricky. So Deebo, people tend to forget this. It's recency bias. Deebo is not a dependable 12-catch-a-game guy. He's erratic. He has 1-catch games. He has 9-catch games. And so San Francisco thought, how do we make him more consistent? We'll add him into the run game. And voila, they found the secret sauce. He runs a little. He receives a little. Now he's a big-time player. But he doesn't want that, right? He doesn't want to get banged up like that, and I understand it. But he's not Stephon Diggs. He's not Jamar Chase. You don't get the same receiver every weekend. So they thought, let's add an element to his game with our great coach, Kyle Shanahan. This will now make him a wildly productive player. And he's like, okay, if we're going to do that, I want to be paid now, I want to be paid early, and I want to be paid most. So now we got a real issue. John Lynch talked about this and said, we love him. We don't want to let go of him despite all the rumors you hear.
I can't ever imagine, wanting to move on from Deebo. You put yourself through the exercises of, you even though we don't have a first-round pick, you have to be thorough in this process and prepare for everything. And so you go through and do that. He's just too good of a player. So we've got nothing but love for him.